Shalom. This is Shalimar from the Great Millstone Atlanta Church. Before I get started in this lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace, safety, much love, and blessings to the elect of Israel scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. All right. I pray that this lesson is edifying. This is going to be an overview of Revelations chapter 6. And I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm also going to get scriptures in Isaiah and also Habakkuk and, wherever the Spirit guides it. So I pray that this is edifying. All right, let's start with verse 1. It says, "And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, 'Come and see.'" All right, and that Lamb is Yahweh Shai. That Lamb is Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is pretty much holding the judgments of the earth. So these seals are pretty much like judgments and prophecy. And I'm gonna continue. It says, "And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer." That white horse is Yahweh Shai. All right. And that white is pretty much symbolic for being pure. And the power, the horse is symbolic for power. So he has he's a pure power. All right. And he's going to go through conquering and to conquer the whole earth. So he's going to take down all these other nations. How is he going to do that? He's going to take their armies down. All right. He's going to destroy their armies, their governments. That's going to be done during the Valley of Decision, which is the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which is also Armageddon. That's when Yahweh Shai is going to judge all of these nations. All right. He's going to conquer the earth. Not only is he going to conquer the earth, he's going to save his elect. All right. So I'm going to continue. Verse 3. "And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast saying, 'Come and see.' And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword." All right. That red horse is Esau. Esau Edom being the so-called white man today. All right. So he has the power to take peace from the earth. How does he do that? He goes about pretty much robbing, killing, the other nations, taking over their lands, taking away their heritage, setting up democracy and all of these other things. That's the power that was given unto him, and that's how he's taking peace away from the earth. And it says that they should kill one another. And that great sword, and that's talking about nuclear, not only, the modern day weapons, guns and certain war vehicles, but it's also talking about nuclear missiles. All right, that's how in these times now, that's how Esau is going about ruling. He's ruling with his pretty much with his sword. All right, so let's jump real quick over to Habakkuk Chapter 2. Really, Habakkuk 1 and 2 talks about Esau, because he's the wicked that's ruling the earth today. All right. All right, verse 5. It says, "Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keeper at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people." All right, so that wine is his philosophy. Like I said, he goes around spreading his philosophy, also conquering these other countries, taking their resources, their land, the people. All right, and it says who enlarges his desire is hell. That's hell can be hell is it's not a place up under the ground. That he's pretty much spoiled the people into believing in. That's another deception that this devil used to cover himself up. Hell is not a place under the ground. Hell can be either the grave, it can be the earth, or it can be a lower state, somebody being in a lower state. So his desire is the earth and the lower state. You can say that in both of those meanings, as the word hell is described in. It says and it's as death. So his main objective is to keep himself going while he's oppressing the other nations, mainly Israel, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, saying, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that laid him himself with thick clay. Yeah, this, like I said, Esau, Edom, he is the devil. He goes forth conquering these lands and pretty much increasing that which is not his. All right. I'm going to skip down to verse 8. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood and for the violence of the land, for of the city and of all that dwell therein. All right. So because of all of this violence that Esau has done, he's going to get judged real soon. Let's jump back to Revelations. All right. I believe I left off at I just went through verse 6, verse 5. It says, and when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And those balances are represented as judgment and slavery. All right. So ultimately, this was judgment from Yahweh Shai for Israel to go into slavery, all of these times. But he used Esau Edom to do it. All right. He used Esau Edom to do it. Esau Edom, the so-called white man today, is the sword of the Lord. He used him as to punish others, or to punish Israel. But then again, that punishment is going to come back, because Esau is not just going to give up his seat in rulership. He's going to fight for it. And the Lord is going to bring him down. That's when Yahweh Shai is going to come through conquering and to conquer. Just like I read a few verses up. All right. So those balances represent slavery. Actually, the black horse represents slavery. All right. Let's go to verse 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts saying, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see that thou hurt not the oil and the wine. All right. So pretty much this is talking about how everything is prosperous, and even though the world is in and out of war, by this devil, everything looks like it's running smooth. It looks like he has full control. So people are not really focused on prophecy right now, but this prophecy is still being revealed to those that have questions, to those that are inquisitive, to those that fear the Lord. Mainly the saints of the Most High right now, which are men of Israel. All right. And it says, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. The oil and the wine is his truth. It's this truth. It's wisdom and knowledge, according to the scriptures. So in this time, in these times, even though everything looks, like it's gonna continue, we already know that prophecy is still gonna take place. Only those that are blinded, those are the only ones that can't see it. All right, I'm gonna continue. Verse 7. It says, and when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast saying, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and he followed with him, and power was given unto him over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. All right. So it says that pale horse pretty much represents death, which is also when I read back in Habakkuk Chapter 2, it says he is as death. That's Esau Edom. And if you look at it, it says the fourth part of the earth. Look at like the population and who has control of those of certain areas. All right, Esau Edom literally has control of pretty much the whole earth. But looking at United States, America, North America, South America, Esau Edom is ruling over all of it. Even though a lot of the northern kingdom is down in South America, they were still conquered by this devil. All right, the Spaniards, the British, French, all kingdoms of Esau Edom. All right, now you have parts of the earth that's ruled over by Moab. You got Elam, you got Ishmael, and then you got Esau. Those are pretty much the all heathen nations that's ruling the earth right now, and they're ruling over Israel. But like I said, Esau he's the devil. He's the one that's gonna bring all of this destruction, or most of this destruction. All right, verse 9, it says, and when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yahweh Shai, and for the testimony which they held. All right, now these are prophets. These are prophets, martyrs that's gonna be murdered for this word. It goes into that in the book of Matthew. It says they we're gonna be hated throughout all the earth, and we're gonna be delivered into prisons, and some of us are gonna be killed. But the Lord has power to, if you die in this truth, you may not even feel that death, that you may not even feel the sting of death. The Lord may take your spirit away before you can feel any pain. So they're pretty much just killing the body. Scriptures say fear him that can kill the body and soul in hell, and not pretty much don't fear him that can kill the body. So we're not really afraid of what Esau can do to us. We fear Yahweh Shai. All right, and not only that, it's going to be an honor to die in this truth. Now I'm gonna keep reading, because it talks about those that were that died in this truth. It says, and they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, doest thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? So Esau Edom gonna be taking out prophets, but they're gonna be right there with the Lord, telling the Lord, hey man, not amen, but hey, Yahweh Shai, we want judgment. We want payback. How long is this gonna go on? So we're pretty much at the end of this thing. This Esau is gonna come with that great wrath, when you go into Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12, because he know that he has but a short time. And you also going to have prophets in the heavens in the, pretty much praying to Yahweh Shai, saying, how long is this going to go on? Verse 11, and white robes were given unto every one of them that was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season unto their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. So just a little season, just a short while after these prophets were killed. First of all, it says white robes, and white robes go into being perfect or being pure. And as a matter of fact, let's get that in let's go to Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 8, because after a while the Lord is going to make all of his people perfect, all of the saints, and we're all going to be in white robes. As a matter of fact, if you go to the next chapter over in Revelation 7, it talks about that. It says, for finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, said the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, said the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, said the Lord Yahweh. I will put my laws in their minds, and I will write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. All right. So those white robes, that's talking about Israel being made perfect. Let's jump back over to Revelation chapter 6. Okay, verse 12. Now this is going to go into the nuclear destruction, because you have the saints that were crying before Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, saying, how long? Now Yahweh Shai is showing John the Revelator that judgment that's going to come upon Esau, Edom, and these other nations. All right. It says, and I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of the heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. So, you have if you ever seen a storm come through and hit a fruit tree, or even a tree that has acorns or whatever, you see a lot of the fruit fall on the ground before it can even finish become ripened. That's how strong these winds are going to be. But that's talking about that's not talking about a storm actually hitting a tree. That's talking about the power of this destruction. And the stars of the heaven fell into the earth. And those stars are not actually stars in the sky. That's talking about idols. Certain things people look up to now. As a matter of fact, let's go to Isaiah chapter 2, because it's going to go into that. Isaiah chapter 2, we're going to start at verse 8. It says, their land also is full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made. And the mean man bowed down, the great man humbled himself. Wherefore forgive them not. Enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust, for fear of the Lord. So let me start over. It says, enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust, for fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty. All right, it's going to go into that a little bit later in Revelation 6, where I was reading, but this is talking about these these men hiding themselves in bunkers. And when you go up a verse, it's talking about how a couple of verses, how the idols are going to be brought down, or it's talking about the idols which were created, in these kingdoms, or in this particular kingdom, Esau Edom's kingdom, that's going to be destroyed. Verse 11, the lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. You're going to know it that it's Yahweh Shemi Hawashah. And Esau Edom is going to be humbled down terribly. He knows that this is it. Once they actually see what's going to come out of those so-called UFOs, which are the chariots of the Lord, which are angels and Yahweh, and how they're going to look. They look like so-called black men. Esau is going to be, Esau is going to be terribly hurt. He's going to know then that who he is and who he was set up to be. And a lot of these scriptures that a lot of the elites of this time, which they already know who they are, they're going to finally realize who they are. Those that don't know. But the main elites, they know, they really know who they know that they're the devil. They watch all videos also. They know exactly what this is. They know the breakdowns. All right. Verse 12, it says, for the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. All right. So let's jump back into Revelations chapter 6. And it says, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and every mighty man, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. Just like, we was reading in Isaiah chapter 2. Those are talking about the bunkers. They're going to go into these high-priced bunkers trying and dodge this nuclear destruction. Some of them are going to actually be kind of not really safe, because judgment is going to come from everywhere. But as far as the nuclear destruction over in America, which is Babylon the Great, you're not going to dodge that in a bunker over here. Now, if you have a bunker in over in another land, over across seas, you might be safe, but you're still going to be taken up. You're still going to be found by Yahweh and the saints. You still going to catch that destruction that's going to come. As a matter of fact, a lot of these men, they're going to actually they're going to be found. And when they get found, they're going to be put in a ditch. They're actually going to be put down in a pit. And then you're going to be put in slavery. All right. And like I said, a lot of this goes into Isaiah. As a matter of fact, before I read the end of this, let's go to Isaiah chapter 34. All right. It says, I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He had utterly destroyed them. He had delivered them to the slaughter. All right, so this is talking about these other nations, mainly Esau, Edom. It says their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Those mountains represents the kingdoms and governments. So the Lord is going to destroy these armies, and the armies are pretty much the power of the governments. If they don't have military and armies, they don't have any power. It's going to be brought down by Yahweh Shah when he returns. You can read about that in Isaiah chapter 65, and starting at verse 16. Let me make sure. Isaiah 66 in verse 15. Salakia. And I'm gonna go ahead and read it. It says, "For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire." All right, so that's talking about Yahweh Shah returning. Let's jump back over to Isaiah chapter 34. Verse 4, it says, "And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll." All right, so remember when it says the stars was going to fall, stars of heaven was going to fall into the earth. That's talking about the idols and everything that come out of this government that people look up to. It's not going to be any more of that. It's not going to be any more any type of idols or people looking up to this government, because everything they're gonna see the destruction coming. It's not gonna be any more 911. You're gonna have the only way you can be saved in that time is if you or are a man of the Lord, or if you cleave unto a man of the Lord. All right. It says, "And all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth from the vine, and as a fallen fig from the fig tree." And just like I was just reading that in Revelations, this is gonna be the worst destruction in the history of history. This destruction is gonna be worse than when the flood came. That was done by water, but this is gonna be done by fire. Now just think, would you rather drown to death, or would you rather be burnt? Drowning is, I can't say if it's painful or what. You pretty much can't breathe, and then you stop. You just stop breathing, and you die. But with fire, you're gonna be standing upon your feet, and your skin is gonna melt off your flesh, and then your flesh is gonna melt off your bones, and you're gonna feel it. It says, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment." And that's talking about nuclear missiles. The sword that's bathed in heaven. The missiles are going to be shot from one end of the earth up into the heavens. They're going to fall down onto Idumea, which is Idumea is just another word. It's a Greek word of saying Esau or Edom. All right. So, but that particular land is America. Let's go back into Revelations. I'm going to end this real soon. Revelations chapter 6 and verse. I left off at 14. Let me see. Verse 16. It says, "And said to the mountains and the rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?" All right, so that's pretty much it. These devils are gonna fall into these run into these bunkers, and they're gonna be hiding from the wrath of Yahweh Shah. But they can't hide, because no matter where they go, they're gonna get taken. You can't escape this judgment. I'm gonna get one more scripture before I end this. Let's go to Amos chapter 9 and verse 1. It says, I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the intel of the door, that the post may shake, and cut them in the head, all of them, and I will slay the last of them with the sword. All right. And it says cut them in the head. The head is like the top. Once you hit the head, the body falls. All right. So what's the heads of these kingdoms? Their power, and their power is put into their military and their armies. That's when I was going into how the Lord is going to take down these military and armies. I was reading in Isaiah 34 and also Isaiah 66 and 15. You can also read more into detail of how the Lord is going to destroy these armies in 2nd Ezra chapter 13. All right. But it says all of them, and I will slay them I will slay the last of them with the sword. He that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escape of them shall not be delivered. Yeah, so Esau is going to try and go up to space. He's going to try and go into these bunkers. Either you're going to get hit with the missiles, or you're going to get taken out. You're going to have one of the 144,000 take you out. You're going to have Yahushua himself or the angels, pretty much destroy you with the chariots. It's really nowhere you can go. You can't hide from this destruction from the Lord. It says, and though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out hence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. And that's a whole nother subject. That serpent is talking about Leviathan. It's a lot of stuff you see going on in the oceans right now. It's not a coincidence. We're in those times, and it's no hiding from this destruction. So going back over to Revelation chapter 6, it starts with the opening of the seals. It talks about Yahushua being that white horse, Esau being the red horse, and the black horse represents slavery and judgment. The pale horse is representing of death. And then after that, that was pretty much the judgment of Israel. And then after that, it's going to go into the judgment of Esau. All right, so that's pretty much an overview of Revelation chapter 6. Once again, I pray that this was edifying and giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Rakak Dash. Also, double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone that taught us his truth. And Shalom.